What is up, guys? My name of course is Carlo. Welcome yet to another video, and today we're going to be creating our own idea of Marvel, or the Marvel logo shall I say. I've sort of tried to be unique to it, even though the Marvel logos are generally all the same. Once this sort of thing starts, you know it's Marvel, so they're quite iconic logo shall I say. But we're going to be recreating this now in After Effects using Element 3D and a couple of other plugins on the way. So, firstly, I'm going to go over to the pictures in the comp. This is the picture setup, as you can see here. In this comp, there's only 15 pictures, but in order to make it sort of like fast, shall I say, you really want a minimum of 100 pictures created into sort of like a step profile like this. Yeah, so I would recommend anything up to 100 pictures to give it that sort of fast flicker like this to happen within your text layer, which is here. If I just play this back, as you can see, the pictures change quite slowly. In theory, it should be a lot quicker, and that is generally due to the fact that there's not enough pictures in the actual comp, which is here. There's only 15. Now, I have provided 2 folders for you guys. So I provided your first 15 pictures so you can sort of play around with, and then there's another one which is, I'll just try and find it for you. It's another folder. Try and find it. Which you can download, and it's got lower resolution images for you to play around with, just in case your sort of computer is a bit slow. So that will help you out. When you do download your pictures, guys, try and keep them 2.5K, 4K. Try and keep them as high resolution as you possibly can. If you don't, you're going to notice it in the actual comp itself. So in the actual text thing here, the pictures are not going to look right. They're going to look really sort of blurry and low quality. So with all that said and done, let's jump over to the tutorial. So I'm going to create a new composition, click OK. I've already just copied the pictures layer, so I don't have to do it again. And basically all you're doing, guys, is you're creating steps. So you're going to put your pictures on top of each other. It can be a bit long-winded, and you're just going to make a step with it like this, join them all together. Like I just said, the more pictures you've got, the better. So yeah. So once you've done that, you're going to pre-compose the picture. So once your pictures are like this, you're going to select all of them, scroll down, hold shift, select all of them, come up to layer, pre-compose. Oh, we don't want to do that. Layer, pre-compose, and just pre-compose all the pictures. Move all attributes, title it whatever you want, so put it comic, whatever you want. Click OK, and that's going to give you a new composite there, like so. So when you go through it, you can flip through. Now you can make it quicker, and it's simply by coming up. But if you do make it quicker, you're going to have a shorter. You can have a shorter piece of animation. So remember that. If you want to speed it up, you can come up to layer, time, enable time remap. It's going to give you 2 keyframes here. And the closer you bring the keyframes, so if we grab this keyframe, the quicker the actual animation is going to be. But then the shorter the comp is going to be. So that's why I say to you guys, try and add as many pictures as you can. I would say a minimum of 100. To give you a really sort of fast flow. So the animation will sort of end there because, yeah, you can see. Now if we get our keyframe and bring it closer together, obviously it's going to make our animation a lot quicker. So that animation is about 4 seconds long. Okay, so let's just you know, bring our keyframe up to here. Say we want it that long, and let's just hide this. Like so. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to create a new piece of text. We're just going to type in whatever you want. Marvel. Let's just stick with Marvel for now. I'm going to align this to the center like so, and that's our text layer done. I was using impacts if you're interested. Regular, that's the character I use. Impacts, I found that works the best. Create a new solid, call it element 3D, make sure it's black. Right click, let's add our element 3D effect to it, or our program to it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to come to custom layers, custom text and mask. We're going to change that to Marvel, and then we're going to open up just below that custom text map, and we're going to change that to comic, like so. And once you've done that, we're going to jump into our scene setup, click extrude, and that's going to give us our Marvel text in element 3D. So we're just going to bring the scale up, the bevel up. Now I used a preset which is built into element 3D, so I need a bevel, so I'm going to go for this century one. I'm just going to drop that on top, so it's going to give us our edging that we need. So if we come up to our extrude, here we have all the assets for the different colors for our environments, or sorry, our text layer. Let's go to material, let's go to physical shaders, let's drop the whites on top of the gold. So now we've changed that whites. And we're going to come up to our pictures, and we're going to come up to our diffuse textures. And now because we turn this into, or we pre-compose this, we should be able to pick it out of our custom layer here, like I say, but we still need to play around with it. Feel free to change the offset as you see fit, but let's just OK that for now. Sorry, that was the wrong one. Let's just undo that. We didn't want to do it on that one. We want to keep that white. Sorry about that, guys. Go to bevel 1, sorry. And then let's just load our custom text layer. As you can see, we can faintly see it through there. And we're just going to play around with that in a second. You can add it to the black as well if you require. So load the text to that as well. And as you can see it there. And we're just going to play around with some of our settings. So we'll bring our intensity down. So now we can see it a bit more. Bring our distortion amount down. And just basically play around with anything that's got some sort of a reflection or like a shadow or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Anything to do with reflections. Subsurface Saturn. Let's bring that down. Intensity, let's bring that down. Now, let's just test it out for now. Okay, let's switch our text layer off, and as you can see, we still can't see it. We still can't see the logo. So let's go back to our bevel, shall we say, and just play around with some more of the look of it. Let's just bring our subscattering up. Okay, it's glossiness. Let's bring our glossiness all the way down. Let's bring our specular all the way down. Bring our glossiness all the way down. Multiply all the way down. And let's just do the same with our reflectivity. Let's bring that all the way down. So we're starting to sort of see it. We can jump into the map and add some more, which we'll do in a minute. Illumination. Let's bring that down to about there. So now, as you can see, we're starting to see our text quite nicely through our text layer, shall I say. So let's jump back into custom layer, and now let's just play around with the the various settings of our picture, shall I say. Let's just bring the contrast up, not too much. Bring the brightness up so we can see it. Maybe bring the contrast down just a little bit more. And now that's starting to look pretty cool, as you can see. Now we need to do the same with a black bevel. So we're going to jump into our reflectivity, and we're going to make sure that everything's set right, because we sort of want to sit on the top as well, don't we? So let's go to glossiness, bring that down. spectrum multiplier, let's bring that down. Environment map, let's bring that down just a bit. Let's jump into our pictures, guys. Yeah, and let's bring opacity up, contrast. It's just so we can sort of, you know, see it on here. And if we move this around, we could see it sort of coming into place there on the top. And we could just play around with our input levels and just grade it so we can see it better on the top. Click OK. Now when we jump over to the finished article, shall I say, it should look like this. And if we RAM preview this now, we have a really nice takes a bit of time to render it out, so because it's quite intensive. But now we should have a nice, once that's done or rendered, flickering animation, as you can see, within our logo, which is cool, which looks pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to animate this. Okay, now you can use a camera; it's entirely up to you. I try and, well, yeah, let's use a camera. So let's go to camera. I'm going to change it, make sure it's on 28mm. Click OK. And now when we get our camera tool, our orbit tool, we can change the animation type of this. So firstly, I'm going to make sure that's flat. Right, so let's open up our camera, our transform. And then what you want to do, guys, is if you're not too sure about rotation and all that business, just play around with it. Put that back to normal. But in essence, what we're going to be doing is playing with the zoom, the location of the zoom. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold down Shift, and we're just going to bring that so it's just about there. Okay, hit the stopwatch. Go to the end of our animation, and then we're just going to bring that down. Don't worry about this bit here because that's not part of the animation we're going to have. Just bring it down until you're sort of happy whereabout on the screen it's sitting. Like so. So now we should have this zoomed out sort of animation. Like so. So let's just render that through. Let's drop down the resolution. I'm working on my MacBook Pro at the moment, as you guys know. And this is a lot to deal with. This will go a lot faster once it's done. So as you can see, we've got the flickering pictures, but like I just said, we're just RAM previewing it now. So it's just rendering out what we've done. And once that's done, it should play back quite quick. We can actually pre-compose the whole thing, which I'm going to show you in a second, and just add a speed ramp to speed it up if we require it. So we'll just wait for that in real time to render out. Okay, so that bit is done, and we will speed ramp that at some stage, which I'll show you in a minute, because that's going way too slow. But we need to get our animation right first, okay? Okay, so let's go back to our position, our beginning, and what we're going to do is, make sure that's like that, Get a rotation right. Bring it to about there in the y-axis. Click our stopwatch, bring it all the way to the end, and then bring this. Oh, we don't want to go out there. To the middle like so. So now we should have, if we go to the start, we should have sort of like a sort of sweeping motion with the animation sort of coming onto the screen like so. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. Okay, so let's just close that down, and now we need to do a little bit more work on this. So let's just highlight it, go up to layer, let's go to pre-compose, let's go to type anything you want, animation, anything you want, move all attributes, click OK, and then we're going to make sure our animation selected, come up to layer, where is it, time. You can do a time stretch, but I think it might make it a bit laggy, so let's do a time remap on that. Let's bring this about here. Let's try that. I think it's just testing out the speed of it, or just, you know, making the animation just go as quick as you want it to for your composition. So let's just bring that, make it a bit longer to about there. It's entirely up to you guys how you animate, entirely up to you. But you can fix the animation. So basically, if we just double click on that and then just open up the transform of this, let's bring that to there. Let's go back to our camera. Let's click the transform on the camera. Bring the orientation down. Just play around with it like that. Okay, let's click out element 3D layer. That's fine. Just making sure it's in a sort of correct position. Let's just bring this to about here. Okay, let's try it there. Yep, that seems pretty cool. It's going over there now, so we need to be careful. So we need it to sort of stop there. Let's trim our comp. Trim comp to work area. And now we should have the animation the way we want, which is pretty cool. So, next stage. Let's add some opticals to this. So let's create a new solid. Call this flare. If you ain't got flares, don't worry. You know, it's what you want it to be at the end of the day. It's your own design. It's your own look. Be creative with it. I just like to add an optical flare to it. So I'm just going to go over original on transparent so I can see it. I'm going to drop the flare just below my text layer or my element 3D layer, so I can simply put my optical flare now behind my element 3D layer. And the one that I use, if I can find it, it's not that one, is this one here. This is my favorite one, this one here. So let's go OK. Now I usually bring this sort of off the screen and start the animation, say from about there. So let's just bring this up. Make sure optical flares is selected so you can select it to about there. So let's click position, make sure our video is on the timeline here. Let's click the position. Let's go to the end of our timeline and let's just bring our optical flare all the way over to about there. Now you're not going to see it once you add your borders, which is great, but then now you can sort of play around with the, you know, the overall brightness, you know, how you want it to look there. You know, so if we bring the brightness down to about 50, no, actually, let's be a bit ruthless. Let's go to about 70, so we can still see it, and it's just literally just going to, you know, shine across the screen just to give it a bit more oomph, really. So you can see what we've done. Okay, so if you feel that the animation is slow, then you can always speed it up. It's not a problem. So let's just highlight all of this. Let's go to layer, pre-compose. Once again, we'll move all attributes, and then we can, with our layer or our pre-composed layer selected, come up to time stretch, and let's drop that down to 50 just to check that out. And let's just see how quick that goes now. So we've cut the time in half, and then we might need to cut it a bit better. So that's actually slower. So what am I doing? So let's go to the layer. Sorry about that, guys. Time stretch. Let's go to 300. Let's try that. It's even slower. Time stretch. Change that to 30. And you can always speed it up inside of Premiere Pro or your editing software. It just makes the animation a lot more smoother. Now, if you do get this problem here with the black, you can easily jump back into your comic comp, and let's just go back to our pre-compose here. S on the keyboard, and just scale that up just a bit there. And then we can jump into our Element 3D layer, jump into our scene setup, and then just play around with the bevel, which is this one. Come to our picture, custom layer, and then we can change the UV offset just to make sure it covers the entire text, like so. And that should just update in real time. And then you can just speed it up and slow it down any way you see fit in Premiere Pro, so on and so on. That's the way I did it, and it came out okay. So let's just add the little go back to our projects. Let's just collapse all this together. This is the logo of Marvel Studios that I downloaded off the internet. Let's just drop that on top. Say here. Let's put S on the keyboard, scale it down for our finishing touch to about there. Put it in the position we want. Let's go a bit smaller actually, so let's go to 15. And then we're going to get our Marvel layer. We're going to trim it down to where we see fit, or where we want it to appear. So if we want it to appear about there, let's just shorten out a bit to about there. Come up to our effects panel and just type in fade, and then use fade in, which is here. Drop that on top, like so, and then you'll get a nice, as it's playing, you get a nice fade in Marvel Studios like that. So that's basically it, guys. Feel free to speed it up, slow it down, the best you want. It's all about being creative at the end of the day, and yeah, making it look the way you want it to look. So as always, guys, if you have enjoyed this video, a like rating is always loved. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, think about hitting that subscribe button and joining the channel. So as always, guys, thanks for listening, and as always, I'll definitely catch you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.